Hi guys, it's Kelly here and I'm back with another Casing Genius video. And today we're going to be using the hand-lettered Hello from W+9 along with Doodlebuds. I showed you the Landscapes Borders dies, but I didn't end up using that because this card didn't end up coming out anything like what I had originally had in mind. So this week's Genius is Kat Craig, and I love her stuff. She's got a lot of different styles and different approaches, and all of it is just beautiful. So super thrilled that she agreed to participate in the Casing Genius series. Here I just went ahead and stamped out my images in Tuxedo Memento Black ink. No, I always do that, guys. Memento Tuxedo Black ink. And I'm just doing some really quick Copic coloring. So today I went with a little more of a true green. I actually brought in some G's along with my YG's just to kind of mix it up, and I'm coloring them a couple of different ways, not just so there's some variation, because I only have that one leaf and I'm just going to keep repeatedly using it. So I started with my lightest color. I literally just scribbled it on, and then I'm using the tip of the marker to flick on some other colors to get some good shading. Again, this is, you can see it is sped up just a little bit, but I am really just coating it on because I plan on fussy cutting them out. So I wanted the flowers to be pink because in Kat's first card, she had this gorgeous, beautiful bloom, and it was bright pink, and it was absolutely beautiful. But then in her second card, she had more like a cluster for her accent. It was a flower with a button and some twine. That's a little too layered for my taste, but I figured I could kind of mimic that with a grouping of flowers. So again, I started with my lightest color and then worked out to my darkest, from my darkest back into my lightest, and then at the last little bit where those petals would overlay, I just went in and added just a line of my darkest color. For the round flower, I wanted it to be darker towards the center, so I covered the whole thing in my lightest color, and now I'm just flicking on or feathering on, however you want to look at it, my two midtones, and then the darkest color I will keep, I'm going to do a little bit of feathering, but I'll keep it pretty close to that center. And even now, before it's even all blended out, you can see how that gives it a little bit of depth. And then, from my darkest back out to my lightest, same thing as always. And this time, instead of bringing my lightest all over everything, I'm going to bring it in from the outside edge, because this particular grouping of pinks, when you put a light Copic over a dark Copic, it pulls up the pigment. And for this particular grouping, the light color, which is RV02 for that one, really picks up the RV55. It really lightens it a lot, so I didn't want to go over it completely again. For this flower, I'm going to keep the majority of my shading to the base and the middle of the flowers, and putting your shading in the middle of your flowers helps the petals to give more of a bowed look, so they look more dimensional. So yeah, I'm just really doing very minimal shading in the center, and I'm making sure that part of it goes up into the petal. This is not, I guess, the best Copic coloring video because it is super quick, but I guess it will show you how you can get a little bit of dimension without a whole lot of effort, because I am not putting in a whole lot of effort here. I just really didn't. The drawing of the flowers is very cute. It's called Doodlebugs for a reason. They're very imperfect and kind of I guess fun or kitschy kind of, and so I didn't really think that the coloring needed to be super realistic, because the flowers aren't. So I felt that the quick coloring lended itself well to this style of drawing. So after I'm done with the pink part, I am going to bring in some yellow for the flower centers. I'm only working with 3 colors because I didn't really think it was necessary to add in a 4th. So I coated the whole thing with my lightest color, and then I'm going to bring in my darker color from the outer edges this time, where when I was doing the flower, I took it from the inside out, and for this, I'm taking it from the outside in. And that's so that it gives the appearance that the middle of the flower is a little more raised. I fussy cut them out, and then I'm using the Memento Tuxedo Black, but this time I'm using the marker just to edge my flowers, and it just helps hide any imperfections from cutting. So here was my original game plan. This is the landscapes borders die while I was in there. My original game plan was I was going to cut like an asymmetrical V out of the card and do some ink blending behind it. I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all, not even a little bit. And I thought maybe I didn't like it because the first time that I did the background, I did it with purples and blues, and I thought maybe it just was the color combination that I didn't like. So I switched it up and decided to do a gradient from pink to orange to yellow to green. And then when I'm done doing this, I still don't like it. So it turns out it was the panel. So that's not how I ended up doing it. My original plan was to do that because Kat's third card had this beautiful little swirl die cut, but it was broader on one end than it was on the other. So I was trying to kind of recreate that in a different way, and it just didn't end up working out. So this is a little bit different, but I still think it came out okay. Like I said, this was my original game plan, so I'm not being careful to go over any of the edges. It doesn't matter that panel is going to be on top, but then I find out it does matter because that panel is not going to be on top. So instead of using the blues and greens, I decided that this was going to be better suited, and I just happen to prefer pinks and oranges together. So I knew that I was going to like that color combination, but it's a very summer color combination. And there is a part of me that is like, you can't do this. It's a day away from December. Like, this is a summer color combination. But once upon a time, Christina Warner and I were talking about nail polish. And I said, I really like that color, but I can't wear it. It's a summer color. And she said, you can wear whatever you want. Like, it doesn't matter what season it is. Like, if that's what you want to wear, just wear it. So I kind of like chastised myself and was like, who gives a crap if these are summer colors? If this is, where that card's leading you, then go with it. So I went with it, and I do love the way it came out. I realize it is not seasonal. It'll probably be the only bright card amongst your Instagram feed, but I'm okay with it. So after I brought in the Wilted Violet was the only other color, and then I just extended those other distress inks. And now here I'm messing around with how I want my placement to be for my flowers. I always do this. If I'm doing a grouping, I don't put any glue behind them. I mess around with them until I find something that I like, and then I take a picture of it with my phone so I know I'll be able to recreate it. I wanted the edge to be a little bit more interesting. So I'm taking, don't mind my big head there, my T-square ruler, and I'm just drawing a couple of little lines on the inked portion of it. And this just kind of ties in the black, and it also just adds a little bit of interest to that, that plain space. And then I also wanted to make the line across where my panel was going to be hanging over. And then after I'm done with that, I'm going to take that same black marker you saw me use before, and I'm going to do the edge. And the reason is because I am going to pop this panel up, and I do not want that white edge to be showing. I want it to be black on black and look fluid. So here I just have some white craft foam. I'm going to very hastily cut that down to size. Nobody's going to see it, and as long as your edges are fairly covered, then you're good to go. And I will tell you that I did not stamp my sentiment yet, and the only reason that I can stamp it afterward is because I'm using this gigantic piece of fun foam, and everything would be completely level. If you are using the tape, the Scotch mounting tape, you cannot do this because your stamp will skip. But because mine's one solid piece, I can stamp on top of it. And now after that is done, I'm going to go ahead and start adhering those flowers. When I am doing a grouping of flowers, I only put the glue in the center because then I can slide those leaves in behind it, and I don't have to try to place my leaves first, which is just like a nightmare. So I can slide them in, I can slide the other flowers in behind it, and it's not at all a problem. And then, you just, for your placement, I tried to work in odd numbers. I have 5 leaves, 3 flowers, and I feel like, that's a fairly good arrangement. I'm okay with it. That's usually what I do if I'm doing a grouping. So now I'm going to stamp that sentiment. This is from the hand-lettered Hello from W+9, and if there was any stamp set that I would tell you to buy from them, this one would be it. Like, I want to put these sentiments on everything because they're perfect. They're something for everyone. I added a couple of little sequins just to reinforce the lines of the card, drawing from that flower up to the sentiment. I didn't want them to feel disconnected. And then that is basically the card. Oh, I added someone Castella too, because every card needs someone Castella. But so that's pretty much it completed. And if you follow my blog or the Casing Genius series, just want to let you know I'm taking a holiday break, until January. So I'll be back with these videos come January. Not like all craft videos, I'll still be doing videos, but just the Casing Genius one specifically. So thank you so much for joining me, and I hope that you guys have a wonderful week. I will see you later. Bye.